Good afternoon, our audience. We are having a lovely podcast today, and this is called the Boardroom Yogi, Navigating Mindful Leadership for Growth. Perhaps India today is one of the biggest exports to the West in yoga. The world has welcomed its profound offerings as it has transcended boundaries by going global. The world has woken up to it, and leaders are in pursuit of it as well. In this era, defined by relentless pace, the pursuit of inner peace has become paramount, hasn't it? Our esteemed guest, Mr. Bijay Anand, is a luminary in his field, guiding individuals through the transformative power of yoga. As the founder of Anahata Retreats, a distinguished chain of wellness sanctuaries, and the master of Kundalini Yoga, he brings invaluable wisdom on plate. Please join me in welcoming Bijay Anand. Thank you, Bijay. Namaste. Thank you for spending time to be a part of this forum.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So my first question to you, Bijay, would be that when did you first feel the need, of getting into this practice of yoga? What was the catalyst? And how did Kundalini has shaped your entire life so far?
I was always interested in health.
Sure.
I was always doing some form of yoga or the other. Yoga as you know it, asanas like Hatha Yoga, Anga, Iyengar Yoga. But somehow, whatever issues I had related to my health, like my back problem, as well as the stiffness around my legs area, my anger issues, I was not able to find any relief from those problems. And then 2008 happened. I lost almost 80% of my wealth that I had created for myself. And then a question popped up in my mind. And the question was, what it is that I can earn, own and have that nobody can take away from me.
Lovely. Wow.
And the answer was very clear. It was my inner joy, bliss, peace of mind, just the whole celebration of life itself. And if I was able to come to that state of being, it would complete me instead of all the money that I was thinking would help me, complete myself. So that's why I started looking again at different practices, and then I stumbled upon Kundalini Yoga and Rishikesh about 14 years ago.
Tell us a little about Kundalini if you can.
So unlike asanas that you understand, like whatever you know of yoga, Kundalini Yoga is a science which mostly works with mudras, mantras, and what Kundalini Yoga does for you, it goes deep inside your soul. Deep inside, and it just brings out all the pain, the grief, the sorrow, the anger.
Maybe some childhood issues as well.
You won't even understand, like even from past life, the trauma you're carrying from past life.
Can be healed as well.
Yeah, any kind of trauma, sexual abuse, all of those issues get healed with Kundalini Yoga, and it's happened to me. So that's the reason why. So I never teach or talk about anything, even in my podcast, on my Instagram or my YouTube channel. I don't say anything or talk about anything that I have not experienced myself.
In your own life.
Yeah.
So do we rightly put it across saying the monk who sold his Ferrari, because the way you said that I lost everything to get something, more precious. That's your peace of mind, your life. So is it something connected? Can we connect it to something of that?
Yeah, I was at a party last night and I was at a party last night and somebody joked. He said, "I'm a monk who's going to buy a Ferrari."
Oh, okay.
Because
there's a book written by someone I know, Mr. Ravi Subramaniam. He's been a banker in HSBC. He wrote a book called "I Bought the Ferrari."
No, so it's not about the Ferrari, but it's about spirit. For me as a teacher, I have always told people that to be spiritual, you don't have to sacrifice, like go in economy, live in a,
You don't have to abstain from in your regular life.
No, so I mean, if you like wearing good clothes, if you like shopping, if you like traveling a lot, I love traveling. I've been to 82 countries. You like to travel first class. There's nothing wrong with that. You can be spiritual, and you can do all that.
Yet enjoy the materialistic aspect of life.
Yeah, but from inside, I acted in a show called Siya Ke Ram, where I played Janak.
Okay.
And for me, my life is an embodiment of that philosophy where Janak was a king. He ruled his kingdom, and yet he was a saint at heart. He was one of the most beautiful, kind-hearted kings in the history of India. Sita's father.
Correct.
So for me, that is the kind of life I'm living right now, because I'm living well. I have a beautiful lifestyle, and at the same time, at deep inside, I'm very equally happy to go to my healing center, which I'm building near Mumbai.
Where are you building near Mumbai?
It's about 2 hours from Mumbai, near to Kapoli and Culture, that side.
And this is open to everybody?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm building that. Work is already started. But if I go and stay there for even 3 months or 4 months without any contact with anyone, I wake up, I make my own khichdi in the afternoon. So we have banana trees. I cut the leaf off and I eat that hot khichdi on that banana leaf.
And it's a different feeling altogether.
Yeah, and like the whole day I'm gardening. So to make you understand, this is really interesting. That if I'm in Russia, China, Mexico, any amazing country, I talk to my wife Sonali about 20 times a day. But when I'm at my healing center, I talk to her once a day or twice a day. Because from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I have so much to do. Like I love gardening. I like going for long walks in the jungle. So I just do all those kinds of things.
That's your own time, your me time.
Exactly. So the thing is that the healing of that nature, of that lifestyle, that nourishes me. It nourishes my soul. And actually nourishes everybody's soul. Whoever's watching this.
I agree.
No matter how stressed you are, if you just go away to the forest, you don't need to go to a health farm or a spa or pay 6 lakh rupees for, you don't have to do all that. Just
anything
go to the jungle.
That really works for you.
Yeah.
Anything that, largely. So as an advocate of yoga, where you're expected or rather to be more poised, be, guarded, and in terms of having a certain temperament, which is, sets that, a position of equilibrium. Has there something ever been that irks you, takes you off guard, or has made you irritated? And how do you balance your mental equilibrium? Can you throw some insights on that as well?
So, the one thing that I have always advocated, and I'm a huge proponent of, is mental equilibrium. And in that, like for example, we were at the Taj when the terrorist attacks happened. And the entire staff of the entire hotel, whoever knows me will tell you that I was the calmest person in the entire hotel in when all this was going on. I was in there. I was there till 6 o'clock. So, in fact, I took it upon myself to calm the 40 people that were with me, and I did calm them down. And then eventually, I was able to get them out because I knew K.R. Prasad. So the point is that I'm the biggest proponent of a mental state of equilibrium, in which no matter how poor I was and to how much money I made, when I was making all that money, people said, "Why aren't you happy? You got this, you made this big deal." And my wife would ask me, she said, "Oh my God, why aren't you sounding happy? You did this." And I would say, "What is it? It's only money." So when I lost it in 2008, when the bank collapsed and I lost 80% of all my money, people asked me, "Why aren't you sad?" I said, "Because when I was making my money, I was not dancing. And when I've lost my money, I'm not crying." For me, everything is
super. And that's a yogi.
Yeah, but
real yogi.
Being a yogi does not mean you cannot get angry. This is one thing I want to make very clear. Because something that is not right, let's say if I'm walking on the street and I see somebody burning garbage and plastic, it makes me angry. And if I see somebody cut a tree for no reason at all, it makes me angry. A lot of things make me angry also. It's not that I'm a yogi and I'm now just in a perpetual state of chanting Om and Hanuman Chalisa. It's not that. And the important point is not to hold that anger.
True.
Most important thing is that you get it out. You say it, you talk about it, you shout if you have to. But don't hold that anger. People who hold anger cause the cancer upon themselves. Because it becomes a disease.
True.
When you hold that anger,
I agree.
it's a root cause of all the diseases that you can imagine. So you let that anger out. Very important.
Okay, so that's what you typically practice. That even if you get irked with certain things that perhaps doesn't align with you, the best thing is that you find, maybe a medium to kind of have an outburst, and then you come back to your.
And the second thing you never do in this conversation is that you never hold anger against a person. You always forgive. Again, if you don't have forgiveness and you don't understand how important is forgiveness for you.
Correct.
You are not doing the other person a favor by forgiving them.
Correct.
You are doing yourself a favor. Because that anger, that resentment and that rage that you have inside against somebody else consumes you. It eats you up like cancer.
True.
It destroys you.
True.
So that's one thing I always say. Get angry, but shout, scream, bang your head on the table, do whatever you want. Get it out and then forgive and move on.
Absolutely. Tell us something how Anahata Resort is doing quite a good amount of work today. Where do you see it going in the future? What kind of plans do you have, for the people that you're serving today in your own way? Could you throw some insight to this as well?
So we are primarily a retreat company. We organize corporate events, corporate workshops. We do it at different locations all across India. Now we're starting with Prague in the Czech Republic.
Oh.
We're doing something in Vietnam. So we are not having a retreat model as such. We don't own retreats. We do it at different retreats. Our own healing center, which is going to come up, which is coming up near Mumbai. And going forward, the plans are to use that as a showcase of the vision for like something which is spread over 1,000 acres of land.
So when you select a country, like you said, Vietnam and many other places, is there a thought behind that? Why are you looking at that particular country for, doing your work?
There is. So
can you share some
basically,
insights?
I told you I love traveling. I've been to 82 countries. And if you consider that I've been to Paris 9 times, and I've been to the Czech Republic 8 times, Greece 6 times, you can even imagine how much I've traveled. So when I'm choosing any location, it's not about any country, even if I'm choosing something in Kerala, I choose properties for my healing retreat, for the retreats of spirituality and healing, which are absolutely magical.
Okay.
And I look forward to going there myself. If I am excited about going to that particular place,
absolutely,
then I can tell you, come.
Yes.
It will heal you.
Absolutely.
The place will heal you.
Absolutely.
What do we do there will be magical, of course. Kundalini Yoga will be there, Ayurveda will be, we'll be talking. I talk a lot about Ayurveda because I had arthritis, I had high cholesterol, I had eczema. I was able to cure all of that with my understanding of Ayurveda and then Kundalini Yoga combination.
So picking up from here, where you think in India the Ayurveda, is going? I mean, how is it picking up? Are really people moving from the allopathy to Ayurveda? How has been the transition so far? How do you see it?
More and more, and it's very evident from the comments you see on my Instagram whenever I've spoken about Ayurveda, and more and more people are losing faith in allopathy and doctors as a community, because as there are great and good-hearted, kind, loving, genuine doctors, there's a huge amount of unscrupulous thugs, as I would like to call them, who will send you to get an indiscriminate amount of tests, who will get you into the operation theatre for no rhyme or reason, and there are many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with Ayurveda, what happens is that the solutions are mostly in your kitchen. The turmeric,
Correct.
The ginger, the aloe vera. That's where all most
parents' times, whatever this.
Exactly.
Like what they used to say.
And when you go to a doctor, an allopathy doctor, and he says you have diarrhea, he'll give you 3-4 medications. He'll say, you have this, you have this. And the Ayurveda guy will look at you and he'll try and find out, first of all, why you have the diarrhea. And most likely, he will tell you just fast. Allow the toxins to come out of the body and just fast. Don't eat anything. Now, see, the problem is, when you have spent, crores of rupees becoming a doctor, you can't tell your people just to fast. You have to write them a prescription and make sure they come back to you.
Sure.
Hopefully, with the side effects of the medicines you're given with more diseases.
Correct.
It's not in your best interest.
Sure.
Now, you think the CEO of any major pharma drug company gets paid crores of rupees a month as salary to heal people or to get more profits? What do you think? You answer the question.
No, I think today, CEOs, CXOs are all. In fact, my next question was on that as well. That today, everybody is leading a very sedentary life. People are chasing the numbers. We're all in the rat race. In that process, we are also forgetting the holistic wellness. I mean, people are of course conscious about it today with having people and leaders like yourself. But I think there's still a long way to go. I mean, we really need to kind of imbibe that in our daily lives and make constructive changes,
The problem is parenting.
Yes.
Because as a parent, what I see people do is tell their children that they have to become rich, they have to become famous, they have to become first in sports, they have to learn the piano, then they have to go to a business school, and you know what I tell my daughter? My daughter is now 17 years old. From the time she was born, whenever we have had any conversation, I have told her one thing, that your goal, your mission in life is to be happy.
Sure.
And most important, even more important than that, spread happiness. And I said, you will only be happy if your mission in life is to spread happiness.
Correct.
Okay. Now, if I was to tell my daughter, you have to come first in the class. Today she's a happy child. She's a beautiful soul, and she's kind, and she's humble, she's gracious, and she's beautiful. So the point is that, the biggest issue that is facing all boardrooms, corporates, whoever you see on the streets, and I connect with energy, I understand people, that they're all in a rat race, not understanding the actual meaning of the Indian word, which has been used for thousands of years, called Maya, now made famous by the movie called Matrix. Now you are living inside a matrix and you're choosing to live in the matrix. It's your choice. And what you're being trained to do, your training is what? You know what your training is? How do you decorate your cage? Inside the matrix, you're living in a cage. You're given a cage. Now what you're doing is you're buying a Bentley. Then you're buying a nice Patek Philippe watch for yourself. Now you got a nice dog for yourself. Now you're decorating your cage, but you're still inside the cage.
Exactly.
My philosophy, what I am telling you to do, what I am asking all my students to do, is step out of the cage. Look at the world outside. But the problem is, as Socrates, the philosopher, the Greek philosopher said, that he had this concept of cave, and it's a beautiful story which has been said over and over many times. You might have even heard it. Is that the entire human civilization is trapped inside a cage. There's light behind. They're looking at a wall. And whenever they move, they see shadows and they see, look, that's life. You see that, see, I did this and that happened, and see, that's life. And then somebody comes and says, come outside the cave. There's butterflies outside, there's birds, and there's beautiful waterfalls, and there's life outside. Come, I want to show you. And they look at him and they say, no, we are fine over here. Because even when somebody is hearing me say all this,
true,
they will still go back to working, 9 to 5,
so
running
is this
home.
what you think is ailing the corporate leadership? I mean, you've been here, been there, done it all, seen the entire corporate life, how today people are operating. So what do you think, according to you, is that one thing, that has been ailing, the corporate segment to a large extent, and it needs to be, addressed?
I have no problem with profit. I have no problem with that. I mean, without profit, what would we do as an economy?
True.
Nobody will manufacture anything, nobody will sell anything, there won't be services, there won't be goods. What would we do without profit? The problem is when it becomes profit at any cost. Okay, even the culture within companies to push people to maximize their profit. Now I have, let's say, 8 people in my organization. I love each and every one of them like my children. There is this feeling of love and empathy towards each and every one of them, towards their personal life, their problems, their issues. If I was to convert myself to a hardcore, proper profit, corporate person whose only mission is profit, then I'll be flogging them to work even harder, to do more, to result. What happened? Why isn't this happening? Why isn't that? No, they're my children. Then what happens is, what happens after that? The profits go up 10 times.
True.
A is good karma, not to hurt people.
True.
A, that's the most important thing. And secondly, with that love and nourishment, they're working at optimum speed. Now they're more driven. It's a personal mission for them to make sure that Bijay Anand as a teacher succeeds even more than he is.
Correct. Absolutely. So, we really are thankful that today you're here with us. We'll be talking the evening session. Synods, is a philosophy that we're bringing today, where we're bringing, like-minded professionals. We are bringing the corporate leaders, the business owners, and many others who are today visiting us, trying to understand, things from a different perspective from our speakers. You will be talking on, mindfulness and how to kind of align and balance the professional commitments vis-a-vis, having a very balanced, healthy mind. Now, having said that, could you give us a very strong tip and a takeaway for these leaders to maintain that balance, before we close the conversation?
Karma. It's a word which all Indians know, but you'll be shocked how many people don't live as per the philosophy of karma, of good karma. The one thing I want to share with anybody who's watching this is that with good karma, magic happens in your life.
Absolutely.
You see, you can make all the money in the world. I have students who are worth like $8 billion. They've tried to commit suicide 3 times. 3 times he's tried to commit suicide. And whenever I'm doing a session with him, he's just crying for those 2 hours in 3 hours. See, and I have met so many people who have nothing and just so much at peace, so happy in life.
What's the difference?
Karma. When you are a good human being, you're a kind person, you have compassion in your heart, you have gratitude in your heart, you have love in your heart.
True.
And this is the most important thing, that you can work your whole life trying to create something for yourself and your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. Believe me, the day you die, 1 week after that, they'll forget you.
Absolutely. That's a hard reality.
Okay. Now, the point is, if you spend your whole life trying to create something for humanity, for mankind, for this beautiful Mother Earth, like when I wake up in the morning, I just thank Mother for nourishing me. I put 3 fingers on the ground and I touch it to my forehead, asking her for blessings. If you work for profit, is fine. Enjoy your business class, first class travel, buy your own jet, buy a Bentley, enjoy your life. Okay. But if the mission of your life shifts from I, me, myself, my children, my grandchildren, and you shift to what can I do for this planet? What can I do for people? How can I make one person happy today? What can I do to change somebody's life? Not as an ego. Because I also know people who give a check of 10 crore and then have that big thing printed and then they stand in front of the camera and then they call the press and the media that look, I gave 10 crores for charity. And that's bullshit. Your left hand should not know what your right hand has given to somebody else.
True.
Help people in need. So my biggest takeaway is from this conversation is the power of good karma. Not as an act of selfless giving so that, somebody else benefits, but it benefits you.
Absolutely.
It heals you. It gives you a better life. It makes you a rich soul with a powerful magnetic aura. That's something that I would like the entire mankind to have. Beautiful auras.
And what made you align with Brand Talk Synod? My last question. Me?
And the conversations we've had, and I know that you're on a mission to create something very, very beautiful and powerful.
Thank you.
And I'm just so happy to be here in Bangalore.
Oh, we are equally happy, and I'm so grateful that you could make it. In fact, we changed the dates because you couldn't make it on 21st. So I'm honored that you're here, and we look forward to some great work together and great conversations today. Thank you, Bijay. Thank you so much for this talk. Thank you.
a gin distilled with 6 unique Japanese botanicals harvested at their peak. Distilled to embody the blessings of nature. Roku Gin, alive with the best of every season.